Heyo ladies and gentlemen, my name is Darth Rich and we are back with Star Citizen. Thank you for checking out my video today. As has been the norm of recent weeks, we're here in the Revel and York hangar once again, and we're here to have a look at a different ship. This is the second time I've recorded this video. I got 16 minutes into the last one and really buggered it up. So I decided to start again. The eagle-eyed of you will notice the lines of this ship as one of the Origin 300 series. But this is no normal 300 series. This is one of the limited edition models. This is the Origin 300 series 350r. And the R stands for racing. And as we all know, if you want to be successful in racing, you need speed on your side. And this ship has got it in bucket loads. So let's just have a quick look around the outside of this ship. First of all, slow clap. What a stunning looking ship this is. The 300 series is a great looking ship anyway. But certainly in this form and these colours, it really looks the part. The grey, yellow and black is a tried and tested combination of sleek looking colours anyway, but the way they've been applied to this very, very attractive form is quite something. You could stare at it all day long. From the outside, it looks very similar to all the other 300 series line, obviously aside from the colours. As I said, it's an attractive ship anyway. As far as the dimensions are concerned, it's identical to the 300i, where we've got 24 meters in length. Across, it's 16 meters beam, and the height is 7 meters. And without cargo, the weight is just a shade over 20,000 kilos. It's a one-man spacecraft. As you can see, it's not the smallest of ships that we've had in here. It's a reasonable size. Wonderful. So let's have a little bit of a closer look under here. So first things first, this is built for speed. We'll get onto the engines and why it's so fast in a moment. Now, it is kitted out with weapons, so it's certainly able to give you some offensive options. Whether they would be more to buy you a little bit of time before you can get powered up and escape. I don't think it's the sort of ship that you'd probably go looking for combat in, but it does have some options there. So if we just go on the ends of the wings here, we can see that we've got two laser cannons, one on each side. These are the Omniski 6 lasers, so they're fixed points. They won't sap a huge amount of energy from our power source, obviously giving us more to be able to divert to getting this thing's moving in the the direction that we want it to. One thing I have noticed, which isn't detailed on the RSI website specs, is that we do have what looks like a gimbaled weapon here. This is the CF-07 Bulldog repeater, which if this is operational, then that's going to give you a bit more firepower and certainly has the capabilities of being able to take somebody out. So it's by no means a slouch as far as that's concerned, but you're probably going to use it in a more defensive manner than offensive. If we just scoot on underneath here, again we can see the level of detail that the artists and designers have gone to in creating these spacecraft, as with all the other ones, and this is by no means an exception. We can see the absolute wonderful texture on the rubbers there of the landing gear, and we can see the different metals and pistons that enable that to retract up into its housing up there, and the flaps are open obviously. they will close to give it a sleek design on the underside there. We've got these two huge air intakes. They're there to obviously cool the two massive engines that we've got at the back here that give the 350r its speed that it tells us that it's got, and the same here. Textures on the inside of that little bay there are not quite as good, whether it's just a case that they're not loaded in or they're not quite as finished as the rest of it. But you know, this is work in progress, and these will be touched up, and you know, we will know that everything will look absolutely fantastic by the time the game is released. Wonderful. So just moving around a little bit closer here, we can see we've got those lovely yellow accents there just on the side of the ship. You can see there's kind of like, not sure if it's the paint or the difference between the grey and the black. It does look slightly different in material there. We've got these manoeuvring thrusters. The manoeuvring thrusters are exactly the same as the ones that they have on the 300i. So we've got 10 scalpel precisions, as you'll see all around the ship, and then on the front here we've got the omni precisions. I think they pivot. I think that gives us extra maneuverability from those two on there. If we just stand back a little bit here, you can see the Origin decal and the 350r just on the top. Very nice indeed. And as we move around to the back, we can see the same just on the rear tail there as well. Wonderful. Now the standard 300i comes with just one single engine. It's the HE 5.3. Now this 350r is kitted out with the hammer propulsion engines as well, but it's got two of those, and these are the HM 4.3s. So you know, we're talking a significant power increase over that of the standard 300i. And once you get it out in the Arena Commander, you can really feel the difference. This is certainly a very fast ship, and as fast as you would expect it to be as well. Now we can see the detail as we get a little bit closer. You can see the different metals, what looks like kind of gold housing there. Whether that's just for style or whether it does dissipate the heat, I'm not entirely sure. And then we've got the housing around the actual end of the thrusters there. Again, the way the light catches off all these different metallic textures is absolutely outstanding. Wonderful. And we can see we've got the danger, stay clear. You probably wouldn't want to be stood here when it's firing up. We do have a shield as well, as we do with all the spacecraft. It comes with a standard one that comes on the original Origin 300i, and that's the all-stop shield. Beautiful. So let's just have a quick look now. We enter it in exactly the same way as we do in the other 300 variants. Love that mechanism. Pretty good, pretty tight animations as well getting into the ship there. There's no kind of glitching or anything like that. And once we're inside, everything's very familiar in here. Not sure if there's slight changes to the colour. It looks very similar. It looks a lot lighter in here than it does in... I've got the 315p. That's the other 300 series that I have. It looks a little bit lighter, I think. Whether that's just because I've got this in a different hangar, I'm not entirely sure. Looking at the level of detail here, we've got kind of these non-slip rubber panels here, and then we've got very detailed door locking mechanism. And what looks like is that a brushed aluminium or brushed steel metal there. Gorgeous how it catches the light there. And then looking a little bit higher, it looks like there's some kind of molded plastic, or perhaps rubber, or maybe even it is leather. I'm not entirely sure. It's either faux leather or perhaps it is real leather. Who knows? and then you can see there's the big arm that swings those doors out when you look to exit. Beautiful. Now, if you're looking to carry any sort of cargo, then you're out of luck, unfortunately, in the 350R. Now, whether we're going to be able to carry small amounts of very important cargo, such as maybe data or very, very valuable metals or something like that on our person, then that might be a possibility, because obviously this would be a very, very good ship to choose if you want to get from one point to another very quickly without anyone being able to follow you. But the actual cargo capacity does show as 0 freight units on the RSI website, where you do get a very modest 16 on the 300i. Looking forward towards the cockpit, everything's very familiar here. The Origin mark is of superior quality. People suggest it's something similar to a Mercedes or BMW in the type of quality, and you can see from the interior everything's very, very attractive, and everything looks like it's been designed with aesthetics in mind as well as function. If we just open up there, we see that we do have a bed, so if we want to sleep mid-trip, then that certainly is a possibility. So yeah, we can definitely get in there. Can we actually... Oh, we can lie down. I didn't know we could do that. There you go. So, just looking above there, I'm not entirely sure if that is a docking collar or not. It looks a wee bit like one. I should have probably checked that out, actually, but hadn't noticed that because I hadn't actually laid down in it before. But there you go. We all learn something new all the time. So, if we squeeze up front, you know, it's not super small in here. You know, there's certainly room to manoeuvre yourself around. And we've got this very attractive pilot's seat up here. And we can see they've got the lovely Origin Jumpworks detail in there. And that lovely metal colour as well. And if we interact with it, we can see that we can spin it around. And then when we sit in, we actually face in reverse, and then it takes us round. And I love these animations here. So he grabs hold of his flight controls, flicks a few buttons, and everything comes alive. So if we just come out of that there, and we just have a quick look around. Quite interesting is that the flight controls here are very similar to what you probably, well, what I imagine you'd see in a commercial liner or something like that. It's quite interesting to see all the different types of flight controls depending on the different makes of spacecraft and the individual spacecraft themselves as well. You know, we've seen the kind of hands-on throttle and flight stick. We've seen the twin flight sticks and then this variant as well. And it'd be kind of interesting to see how the people that are particularly into Star Citizen will adapt to those. Will they feel like they need to perhaps have the input function to actually mirror the ship that they're flying, or will they be happy? I haven't quite decided myself. I quite fancy a throttle and stick. I do have a cheapish one at the moment, but a little bit closer to the full release. I'll be certainly very interested to see if there is any Star Citizen endorsed ones out by then, which I do understand is in development at this moment in time, or whether we look for a third-party option. It'll be quite interesting. Anybody that's been in the 300 series, we do have a globe that comes up in front of us there to feed back location information and such as that. We're certainly not short of displays as we look all the way around here. Feeding back real-time information for us. Looks like a very attractive place to be. As far as visibility is concerned, you know, if we look to our right and to our left, we can see plenty there, and we've got this uninterrupted view all the way around. Wonderful. Very nice indeed. Obviously a little bit restrictive bottom left and bottom right, but that's to be expected in this style of ship. So if we just make our way out of the cockpit now. Super nice animations once again. Thank you very much. And if we just scoot on here, we can exit this side. We can have a look at the opening mechanism. I do think the sounds to most of these opening and closing mechanisms are really good. Just as you would expect, you can see the mechanism turning around there, and then we've got this big arm that allows us to go out. And if we just interact with the ladders, we can see how we drop down. Very smart indeed. Well, I think that's pretty much everything for a quick overview of the Origin 350r. It's not available to purchase as this video goes out. The limited edition sale ended last week, which is why we have a few of them in the hangar at the moment. In all honesty, you know, I purchased some of these with the intention of doing a few videos and then maybe melting them down and purchasing something that fits my playstyle. And racing is something that in fact I do love racing simulations as far as cars are concerned, but it's not something that I particularly thought I would be interested in as far as Star Citizen was concerned. Having said that, you know, getting the M50 and the 350R in the hangars, they're both stunning looking ships and would, you know, be a very, very nice addition to anybody's collection. But as we've got to remember, all these ships will be available to be purchased or obtained in the real game proper, whether it's by purchasing with credits or by more deceitful means. It's entirely up to you. So I'm not quite sure. It is a very nice token addition to the hangar, and we'll have to just wait and see how we go. If you have made it this far into the video, then thank you ever so much. As I've said before, it always makes me smile when people get this far. If you have liked or disliked, then feel free to click the appropriate thumbs up or thumbs down accordingly. If you have enjoyed the video to any extent and you fancy seeing more of me wittering on about fictitious spacecraft, then feel free to hit the subscribe button. There certainly will be more Star Citizen content coming. I'm just currently going through all the ships as my knowledge is certainly growing a wee bit now. Lurking on the official forums and also the Reddit the subreddit as well. So I'm getting to know quite a bit about Star Citizen now. I've followed it for quite some time, but certainly not to this extent, and hopefully we'll have a few more informative videos. But for the time being, the spacecraft overviews will be coming thick and fast. I'm not quite sure which one we'll have a look at next. I've got the Super Hornet in the hangar, so that would be nice to have a look at. But I also know that that's a spacecraft that's quite dear to a lot of people, and people that are into Star Citizen for the long term. It seems to be a favourite in Arena Commander, presumably because of its offensive options. So I'd like to know a little bit more about that before we do perhaps do a video. And yeah, if you got any requests, then feel free. I think we'll have a look at almost everything at some point, to be perfectly honest. Kind of building up to put in the Constellation variants, because I think I'm going to possibly stick with one of those eventually. So I'm not quite sure which order to do them in, but they'll be coming shortly anyway. So, thank you very much once again. My name's been Darth Rich, and this is Star Citizen. If you're not involved in the Star Citizen universe, then I urge you to have a look. You don't have to put any money down whatsoever at this moment in time, but get involved with the community, because this project is something that is very near and dear to me, and I'm really, really looking forward to the community growing and interacting with it. I think it's going to be an absolutely staggering experience. So take a look at the forums, take a look at the websites, and you know, have a look and see how deep and meaningful this whole franchise is. The way they're building the lore and involving the community and the actual development of the game is quite something. So if you haven't checked it out yet, then feel free to do it, and I don't think you will be too displeased. That's it for me, and we'll see you next time.